Hola, hola amigos. How are you? ¿Cómo están? Welcome back to another episode of Español con Señora Baez. Vamos a repasar, we're going to review la fecha y el clima, the date and the weather, las tres comidas, the three meals, and how to talk about them, how to choose like a food, what we want to eat, and Peru. Peru, we've talked a little bit about Peru this year, but not quite enough, so I will be talking about Peru. ¿Qué día es hoy? What day is it today? Hoy es, if today is Monday, you say lunes. Hoy es martes, if today is Tuesday. Hoy es miércoles, if today is Wednesday. Hoy es jueves, or hoy es viernes, if it's Friday. ¿Qué día fue ayer? Well, if it's Friday, yesterday was Thursday. Ayer fue jueves. Or ayer fue miércoles, Wednesday, etc. ¿Qué día será mañana? What day will it be tomorrow? Well, if today's Monday, mañana será martes. Tomorrow will be Tuesday. Or mañana será miércoles. Tomorrow will be Wednesday. Or mañana será jueves. Tomorrow will be Thursday. It just depends on the day that you're watching my video. Take a break, pause the video, and look at the days of the week and practice, por favor. La fecha, the date. If today's Monday, hoy es lunes 10 de mayo. Mayo is spelled like mayo, but it's pronounced mayo. Or hoy es martes 11 de mayo. Or hoy es miércoles 12 de mayo. Or hoy es jueves 13 de mayo. Or hoy es viernes 14 de mayo. Or hoy es sábado 15 de mayo. Saturday, May 15th. ¿Cómo está el clima hoy? How is the weather today? Let's look at the weather words. We have lloviendo. Here, I'll move this. Nublado, soleado, ventoso, and tornado. If today is windy and sunny, we're going to say hoy está ventoso y soleado. If today is cloudy and rainy, hoy está nublado y lloviendo. Y means and. If today is sunny, we will say hoy está soleado. If it's hot, hace calor. If it's cold, hace frío. Let's look at the weather and practice saying what the weather is going to be for each day. ¿Qué clima hace el lunes 10 de mayo? Hace calor. Or hace sol, está soleado. It's sunny. El martes 11 de mayo está nublado. It's cloudy. El miércoles 12 de mayo está ventoso. It's windy. El jueves 13 de mayo está nublado. Cloudy. Y el viernes 14 de mayo está soleado. How do we say I like to eat? Because I like to eat and I know you guys like to eat. Me gusta comer. Me gusta comer. How do we say I like to eat pizza? Me gusta comer pizza. I like to eat burgers. Me gusta comer hamburguesa. I like to eat sushi. Me gusta comer sushi. Like this. Me gusta comer sushi. Las comidas, foods, we have breakfast, lunch, dinner. Repeat after me for breakfast. Desayuno. Desayuno. Desayuno means breakfast. Almuerzo. Almuerzo. Almuerzo means lunch. La cena. La cena. Cena means dinner. Now let's practice ordering what we want for breakfast. Or if someone asks you, what do you want for breakfast? I'm going to ask you, ¿qué quieres de desayuno? ¿Qué quieres de desayuno? Which means, what do you want for breakfast? So here I have fried eggs and cereal with milk. Let's practice saying this. Huevos fritos or cereal con leche. So let's practice first with fried eggs. Let's say I want fried eggs for breakfast. Yo quiero huevos fritos de desayuno. Now let's say cereal. Yo quiero cereal con leche de desayuno. I want cereal for breakfast. Now here we have roast chicken and fried chicken. ¿Qué quieres de almuerzo? I'm asking, what do you want for lunch? So let's practice with roast chicken. Yo quiero pollo asado de almuerzo. Again, yo quiero pollo asado de almuerzo. Feel free to pause the video and practice. Now I'm going to go to fried chicken. Yo quiero pollo frito de almuerzo. Yo quiero pollo frito de almuerzo. Then here we have Japanese food and then lasagna, Italian lasagna to be specific. So let's start with Italian lasagna, which is lasagna italiana. Let's start with I want. Yo quiero lasagna italiana de cena. One more time. Yo quiero lasagna italiana de cena. I want Italian lasagna for dinner. Now let's go to Japanese food. Yo quiero comida japonesa de cena. Yo quiero comida japonesa de cena. Now we're going to match the complete sentences that include a lot of the vocabulary that we've learned so far. I was trying to see if I could make my video box smaller. I'll just move it. Okay, let's start with the black sentence up here at the top. Yo quiero una lasaña de cena. We know yo quiero means I want. So let's find what says I want. I want eggs. Lasagna is not eggs, so it's not this one. The answer is I want a lasagna for dinner. Okay, now me gustaría una Coca-Cola. We know me gustaría has to do with I like, but it's I would like. The only one that's I would like is this, and it also has the word Coca-Cola. I would like a Coke. Tengo mucha hambre. Quiero comer 8 pizzas. Hambre or tengo hambre is I'm hungry, so it's going to be this one. It says I want to eat 8 pizzas. Yo quiero huevos y tostadas de desayuno. Desayuno is breakfast. I want eggs and toast for breakfast. And last but not least, tengo sed. Necesito tomar agua. Tengo sed means I'm thirsty. I need to drink water. Okay? Good job. Let's go to Peru. Peru is a country in South America. This is what their flag looks like. It's red and white with the coat of arms in the middle. So now I'm going to go to a slide share and we're going to go over some really cool important information about Peru.
Let's take a trip to one of the most beautiful countries in all of South America. Welcome to this mini fantastic facts, and today we're focusing on the Republic of Peru.
Man, I went to Peru once and I was kind of disappointed.
Really? Why is that, Noah?
Well, I heard that there was a Machu Picchu, but I didn't see any Pokemon there.
What? Ugh, Noah, I think you're a little confused. Machu Picchu is an old citadel that sits atop a mountain range in Peru. Along with the Great Pyramid of Giza and the Colosseum in Rome, it was voted one of the new 7 wonders of the world in 2007.
Oh, so that's why I didn't see any Pokemon. I did see a lot of huge mountains, though.
The Andes is the longest continental mountain chain in the world at 7,000 kilometers. Of course, the Andes doesn't even come close to topping the mid-ocean ridge, which is over 40,000 kilometers in length.
Yeah, I walked across a few trails in the Andes. Along the way, I ran into these farmers who were harvesting potatoes.
Did you know that there are nearly 4,000 native varieties of potatoes in Peru?
Seriously? I always assumed that all potatoes were the same.
The potato family is actually quite large and has a long history that stems all the way back to ancient Peru. Andean potatoes have been cultivated there for approximately 7,000 years.
Wow, I can't wait to visit Peru again. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Junior Mojo for more funny, fulfilling, and fantastic facts. Gee,
right, guys, so now, here, let me zoom in because that's an easier way to include my face. Peru. Peru is in South America. It's one of the most biodiverse countries in the world, which means they have lots of environments for lots of different species of animals to survive. They have a lot of indigenous people that live there, people from cultures that are like native cultures, kind of like Native Americans, but they're from Peru. And they actually, the Incas, a very long time ago, they built a village for a lot of the important people in their society, their government, their doctors and scientists, and they all lived in a place called Machu Picchu, and it's this place right here. It's world famous. It's part of the World Heritage Organization sites, and if you ever get a chance to visit Peru, it's definitely a place you have to go to. Alpacas are llamas in Peru, and then we have here some of the indigenous people weaving. They use alpaca wool to weave different pieces. All right, let's see. Where's Peru? Peru is in South America right here. The east side of Peru faces Brazil, and it has some of the Amazons. And the west coast area right here in the middle, that lines with the coast, is where the Andes Mountains are. Let's see. Where's Peru? Which coast of South America is Peru? Well, it is the Pacific coast. Which ocean is on the coast of Peru? Is the Pacific Ocean. Where's Peru? The countries that surround it are Ecuador, Colombia, Brazil, and Argentina, I believe, is down here. And the population is 29.5 million. Or sorry, not Argentina, Chile, down here. Peru has 25 regions, plus the province of Lima. Peru is the fourth most populated country in South America. The official language of Peru is Spanish. Quechua, Aymara, and other native languages are co-official in the areas where they are spoken. The capital of Peru is Lima. The population of Lima is more than 8 million people. This is the flag that we looked at earlier. The government. They gained independence from Spain in 1879. Independence means that you're your own country and you don't have to follow the rules of a different country. Before August 14th of 1879, they had to follow the rules of Spain. The current president is Alan Garcia, and they are elected for 5-year terms. The prime minister is Jose Antonio Chang, and he's appointed by the president. The weather is sunny and foggy. When I visited Peru, I was in a town called Cusco, and it's very high up, meaning because Peru has so many mountains, they're very high up, elevated from the sea level. So at night, it gets very cold because it's really close to the outer layers of the atmosphere. And in the day, because the sun is closer to you, because they're closer to the equator, it's pretty hot and you can actually get pretty sunburned. A lot of their citizens and the people who live there, they get like their faces are sunburned right here and their hands are also sunburned constantly. Culture. They have lots of different traditional dances because they have so many indigenous cultures. Back in the day when it was just indigenous people and the Spanish had not arrived, they had different groups. So they have different groups with different dances and different music. They weave in a lot of their indigenous cultures, as you can see. That, like I was saying, they weave pieces with alpaca wool, and they dye it with natural ingredients. This is some of the architecture. The Incas had built Machu Picchu. It got torn down over time, just kind of faded, like the roofs of the houses and stuff. However, the bottom of the structure, the base of it, remains. And this is the cathedral church in La Plaza de Cusco, at the Cusco Plaza. And every town has their own like cathedral church or church that was built by the Spanish in the 16th century, which is the 1500s. The children look like this. A lot of them play football outside in the streets. They play soccer. And there's lots of children when they go play in their neighborhood and they are spending time together. Everybody watches over them, even if their parents aren't around. Clothing. These are some of the traditional clothes they wear. As you can see, regardless of the group, they all have really bright colors. If you're an indigenous person, a lot of them will have covered up. These ladies that wear the hats, even though they're from different groups, they're called cholitas. That's the name that culturally they're given. A lot of times they have the hats. And that cholitas, they are covered from like their neck to their feet, but they have super bright colors and big skirts. And las cholitas also, these are guimos, which are guinea pigs. They're very common up there. They grow up there and they live up there. And in some groups, they also have known to eat guimos, to eat them. Food. Here's some food. You see plantains because they have a coast. So you see ceviche. Ceviche is cured fish. So instead of cooking it on a skillet, you cure it with lemon juice and you season it. And then they put sweet potatoes beside it. And they have salads and fish. Delicious. Music. Here we have some pictures of them playing music. They have their own type of harmonica. They call it pan flutes, and charango is this. It sounds like a chuk, 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 chuk. Okay, holidays. February 2nd is La Fiesta de la Candelaria. Mamacha Candelaria symbolizes purity and fertility. March 19th is Dia del Niño, Peruvian Children's Day. On this day of the year, Peruvian children would be congratulated and would receive presents from their parents. And May 1st is El Día del Trabajador. I was actually in Peru during this day, and they have different, not protests, but more like marches, and they all group together. For example, if you're a nurse, they all wear their nursing clothing or their scrubs, and they go and march and make a statement for Dia del Trabajador, which is Labor Day, or the Day of the Workers. November 1st, Dia de los Santos. They celebrate it because a lot of the people in Peru are Catholic, which means they're Christian, but they're specifically Catholic, and they bring candles to church. On November 1st is Dia de los Muertos, and in Mexico they celebrate it. In Peru they celebrate it on a smaller scale. The Day of the Dead is the time of returning rains and the reflowering of the earth. The souls of the dead also return to reaffirm life, and they take flowers to their families' tombstones. Some activities that you can do in Peru. Visit Cusco, which is a town that Senora Baez told you she stayed. From Cusco you can actually go to Machu Picchu. Cusco was the site of the historic capital of the Inca Empire and was declared a World Heritage Site in 1983. But the town of Cusco is actually a few hours from this place. The closest town to Machu Picchu is called Aguascalientes, and you have to go there. You can ride a bus or a train, and then they take you on a train, or you can walk or hike about 3-4 hours to a room to stay here, and then you have to hike another hour or hour and a half to get to the top. There's different cool hikes. Some people do a really long hike where they hike around the mountain, and it's intense, but it gives you a really beautiful view, and others just do a shorter hike. You can hike the Andes. The Andes is the world's longest continental mountain range. So around the world, there's lots of mountain ranges, right? But it's the longest because it starts around Colombia and it goes all the way down to Chile, at the very tip of Chile. The Andes is this range is 4,300 miles long, 120 miles wide, and 13,000 feet high. Some crafts that you can do. So in Peru, there's these plains, and that's where they drew some Nazca lines. The Nazca lines are the lines on the plains of Peru that create pictures when viewed from high in the sky. No one knows for sure who made them. Some Peruvians believe that they're pictures for the gods to view. Children, if you guys want, you can create miniature versions of these lines with construction paper, glue, and sand. You can draw an animal or person, trace it, then put glue on it, and then put the sand over it, kind of like glitter. I encourage you to go online and look up Nazca lines. Have really cool and interesting, weird figures. And I said, no one knows who made them. So it's one of those historical mysteries. Okay, that is all that I'm going to show at this point in time. We are going to go to another section where I'm going to show you more pictures and other information about Peru. Guys, so here's another closer up picture of Machu Picchu. Some of the story I know about Machu Picchu is that the site was actually abandoned when the Spaniards arrived, when they invaded Peru, and they were getting closer to the mountains where this group of natives lived. They, as they got closer, they abandoned. So los indios, or the indigenous Incas, were not here when this place was discovered. And Hiram Bingham, a American, American explorer, found this place. Here is Lago Titicaca and Los Uros. The famous thing about Lago Titicaca is that it is the deepest lake at such a high altitude in the world. In this lake, there's real islands, like you see back here in the background, and then there's these floating islands. They're made with this material that it grows in a lago. It's like an algae, but it's spongy. So they use it to build their houses and to have it as the base for their islands. They anchor these, and if they want to move them, they take the anchor up and they push the island. Okay, now I'm going to show you some pictures about Los Uros. Okay, guys, so as I was stating earlier, Los Uros are floating islands in Lago Titicaca. Here's a picture, what they look like. Another one. These are their boats. They line them underneath with plastic because it makes them more durable, and then they use the same material that they use on everything else on top. Here's another picture. Another picture. I've actually been inside one of these. They're really tiny, but they stay warm. Because remember, at night it gets cold, as I mentioned earlier. Here's actually a larger boat. People can sit inside of this one. Most of them are like canoes or kayaks, like these. I think they're beautiful looking. And then the women, they dress, like I said, in really big skirts. Las cholitas, they have hats. They have different colors in their outfits, and they weave products for merchandise for the tourists. When you arrive, they actually sing for you one of their traditional songs. And as you can see, they're wearing hats and pretty bundled up because it gets really cold. That's some of the stuff that they sell to tourists. All right, I hope you enjoyed the videos. The pictures. We are going to go back and talk a little bit more about Peru. Okay, guys, so for the end of the lesson, for the last thing about Peru that I wanted to bring up was the Nazca lines. As you saw earlier, they have really weird shapes. Some of them kind of look like animals, and no one knows how they were created. Naturally, because no one knows how they were created, there's been so many conspiracy theories about it, so there's lots of videos you can watch about it. But what I'm going to play just talks a little bit about it, and then we'll go over the review of the lesson and we will be finished. I hope you enjoy it. Let's see.
I know what you're thinking. How can a busy manager like me possibly find the time to knit?
The Nazca lines. They lie neglected for more than 1,000 years and aren't rediscovered until the era of the airplane. They look like giant artworks, but are they? Why do the Nazca construct 300-foot-wide images and mile-long lines that they have no way of viewing? There are clues scattered around the geometrical shapes. Protruding from the ends of the trapezoids, there are mysterious mounds of rocks. Hidden inside are slabs that look like altars. Wrapped around them are stone walls, littered with crayfish claws, crab skeletons, and fragments of mollusk shells. What are all these dead sea creatures doing, cemented onto altars nearly 4,000 feet above sea level in a dry, barren desert?
Wow, esta es una concha de Spondylus.
These mollusks symbolize life-giving water. Johnny believes that they're brought to the glyphs as an offering for rain. And there's another clue to the rituals conducted here.
Aquí tenemos un fragmento de cerámica que usualmente se encuentran en muchas partes en los geoglifos.
The concentration of shards of Nazca pottery suggests that they are smashed on purpose.
Es la cola de la orca.
Desert weathering could not have caused this fragmentation.
Look at here, there is another one. And ceramics are in every place in different parts of the geoglyphs.
Johnny's excavations suggest the Nazca lines are sacred sites where people smash pots and make offerings for rain. He believes the way to understand their purpose is not to view them from above, but to look at them as the Nazca would have seen them, at ground level.
Nosotros necesitamos estar en el terreno, experimentar lo que ellos veían, lo que ellos sentían.
Johnny has spent countless months up on the plateau.
Okay, guys, we're going to stop there. I hope you liked it. You can look up some stuff on YouTube and stuff if you like later on.
Face masks have become a necessity to navigate our daily routine.
Amigos, so that brings us to the end of this lesson. Remember to review the days of the week and the date and the weather. Los días, el clima. We worked on that. We worked on las comidas, foods. Desayuno means breakfast. Almuerzo means lunch. Cena means dinner. And the last thing we worked on was learning about Peru. We learned about Machu Picchu, Los Uros, which are the floating islands, and the Nazca lines, which are the lines on the plains that look like geometric, like they look like animals. They look just really mysterious. People don't know why they are there or how they got there. I hope that everybody has a great rest of their semana, of their week, and their weekend. Adios, amigos. Gracias.